Hey, Shalom. It is your brother Yawanathan. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us his truth and rule well. I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right? May the blessing of election be upon your house. Today, we're going to respond to a comment from Elder Manasseh Akbar's comment board. He sent me this comment. I found it amusing and figure we can get some spiritual exercise. All right, so the guy in this comment, he made this statement, and I'll put it up on the screen for you guys, Lord willing. It says, sir, what you are saying doesn't make sense. This is on the video that Elder Manasseh Akbar made in response to Dr. I forget his name. Going into how the lineage works with the Lord and how it's not a thing of complexion, but a thing of bloodline when we're talking about the descendants of Israel, right? So, he went into that. But the guy on the comment says this. He says, let me park really quick before I get going. He says, sir, what you were saying doesn't make sense. Blacks are not in captivity in America anymore. If you say they are then Jews living over here can have the same claim that they are in captivity in America as well. So let's deal with this first part of the comment. We are still in captivity. Okay, it may not be hardcore cattle slavery anymore, but nonetheless, we are very much in slavery, in captivity. The state of slavery is a state of perpetual servitude and void of sovereignty. We're employees. We're still servants. It may not, we're not here in shackles and chains, but we're in servitude, man, and we do not have sovereignty by any stretch of the imagination. All right? The Israelites in this time, are not in that distinct yoke around their neck captivity. But, we already been destroyed, mentally. He doesn't have to keep us down like that anymore. And does not the curses, when you go to Deuteronomy 28 and 48, tell us that we will have to go to our enemy for want and need of all things? What is that? Let's actually read that precept really quick. Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst. Where do we get our food and water from? Do we have any control on where it comes from? On how it's treated? No. We're vexed from day to day with the shit they're doing to the food. And we have no power in our hand to change it. Okay? Even if you want to call yourself a vegetarian, they're doing shit to the lettuce too. To the fish. I saw a video today about how, most of the fish that you eat, 80% of the fish that you eat come from fish farms. And how they have to use so many pesticides and chemicals just to keep the fish alive because there's so much bacteria. They're so infested with disease that they have to use so much chemicals to keep them alive just to get them to the shelves. All right, but Deuteronomy 28 and 48 again. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. And we have been destroyed. Look at our people. They're spiritually dead, pursuing Ezekiel the 37th chapter. So when you read Deuteronomy 28 and 48, that sounds like bondage and slavery. And we know that the curses wouldn't be lifted until the Lord returns. All right, it's Revelation 22 and 3. And then there shall be no more curse. And again, I say we're employees, which is a pretty word for slave. And even the jakes who say, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, you're still subject to Edom's taxes and decrees. So yes, we are in captivity as it is this day. All right, let's go back to the comment and read some more. He said, if you say then the Jews are living over here, the Jews living over here can have the same claim that they're in captivity in America as well. No, they have their own land to go back to. They have their own stolen land, which they can go back to. They have dominion over the banks and the money. They have control over infrastructure. They don't fit the curses. So this guy's clearly just unlearned, But, a little bit of exercise. Needed something to go into today. And the next part of his comment, he says, next. He said next, like he got points. If you say that Israel is not supposed to be in the state of Israel, then why are there 25,000 African Americans living in Israel right now, not including the Hebrew Israelite movement there? So that's a really easy response. When we go back to the land, it's supposed to be again in the state of sovereignty. So the statement that, the so-called blacks over there today does not trump prophecy. We will be scattered into all nations, correct? Also, we are not, again, we don't have dominion over that land. When we go back to the land, we're not only going to have dominion over that land, but over the whole world. And we're going to go back under the authority of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. Not a piece of paper, not a decree that was signed. On top of that, the scriptures prophesy that when we go back to the land, the nations aren't going to learn war anymore. Also, we'll have the law written in our inward parts, making us what? Immortal. People living in that land today, they're not immortal. They die all the time. Again, so-called black people being there today in a fallen state does not disannul how prophecy expounds on our return to play out. Okay, let's go back and read more of his comment. It says, so if the white Jews are not supposed to be there, then why are there black Israelites there? So we already addressed that. This really was stupid. So in other words, it has to be talking about a different type of captivity. Nope. We don't have to really even address that because we already went into the fact that there's a particular fashion in which the nation of Israel returns. We return after Amagawan has played out, after all the nations, have been put down under the authority of Yahweh Shah. Okay? After America has been destroyed and the elect have been taken up out of the way physically. Those things have not happened. So there might be Israelites scattered over there, but that doesn't disannul how we get established in that land and become the sole world power. Okay? At the end of his comment, he says, black people are treated the same all over the world, but they are not all Israelites, so you cannot say it is because of that way we are treated. Yeah, man, people, you might have a Hamite that goes to China, but he is not under the curses. You know who the Israelites by the curses. And again, this isn't a thing about complexion. There's people that don't look like so-called black, Latino, and Native American people, but in wherever they're scattered at, they just somehow they're under the curses. It's like, damn. You got a lot of so-called looking rednecks in the trailer parks that fit the curses because they're not really white people. It's not. We again and again we have to explain to people this is a bloodline thing. It's not a complexion thing. It's really carnal and stupid when you look at it that way, and it shows you haven't read, you haven't studied. Okay. So that was the portion of the comment I screenshotted. He also made another statement. If I could find it, he talked about something. What did he say? Something about the Hittites. Let me see, man. I think it's a video clip where he was talking about how the Hittites were white people. So I'll play the audio. Here he goes.
The Israelites, or the ancient Israelites, was the Hittites. Hittites, which had a hue, people that had a hue, at the same time, colorful eyes, different color eyes. You understand? That's what the whole breastplate is about. It's about their eye complexion describing Israel. Their eye complexion, at the same time, their different veins. You understand? That is shown through their whitish or hue complexion. You understand? All these are different descriptions of the Indo-Europeans and the Germanic tribes and the ancient Israelites. You understand? So, debate Josephus when they said that Josephus talked to an Egyptian priest, and Egyptian priest described the ancient Israelites or the ancient Israelites as the Hittites. You understand? Those are Hittites and those are Indo-Europeans. You understand? Conversation over with, no response by the by the gentleman. You understand?
Yeah, so, he, instead of understanding the scriptures, he goes to the Josephus. So this guy, he keeps bringing up complexion, so he doesn't understand how bloodline or lineages work. And, let's just go get who the Hittites descend from in the scriptures. It's quite simple. And actually, let me get the definition for Ham first. So this guy's whole thing is that Israelites are actually white. And he says that white people do represent the image of God. That was another reel he made. He was going into how white people are the image of God. And didn't bring out any precepts or anything like that. But, just a nigga trying to be too deep. So let me get that definition of Ham. You go to the Zondervan Compact Dictionary, Bible Dictionary. It says Ham, what? The youngest son of Noah, born probably 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. Right? So, when you go through the scriptures, man, the Hittites are mentioned more than 50 times in the Bible. They descended from Heth, which was a son of Canaan. All right, great-grandson of Noah. You go to Genesis 10 and 15. They ruled in the area, like you would say Syria or Eastern Turkey, and battled with Egypt and Babylon for territory. All right, the Babylonian and Syrians, you can find in some documents, they call it Hatti land, Haiti land. All right, and in Joshua, the 1st chapter, in the 4th verse, includes territory as a great part of the promised land for Israel. So, part of the Hittites' land is going to be absorbed into the promised land. So, Abraham dealt with Hittites. He was acquainted with them. Esau took wives from among the Hittites, Genesis, the 26th chapter. So, the Hittites are mentioned all throughout the Bible. But they're Hamites. They're not Israelites or Indo-Europeans like this guy's saying. So now the question comes to my mind, is this guy saying that Esau that isn't the so-called white man? These guys just all over the place. But, yeah, man, these are the kind of bug outs that's going to be popping up in that day. And, or the days to come, man, you're going to see more guys just bugging out like this, trying to heap vainglory unto themselves. And the thing that's going to shut them up is the scourges that come upon the earth, So, yeah, now that I went into the lesson a little bit, I'm kind of annoyed looking at the guy. So with that being said, I'm going to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right? May the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.